Ever wish you could enjoy the creamy cheese whiz of your childhood but without any of the junk? I found a unique method that's rich, smooth, and made entirely from scratch. No processed stuff involved at all. So in this video, I'm going to show you my simple step-by-step process for ultra velvety cheese whiz using just real ingredients. So here's what you do. Take a gallon of milk. If it's raw, shake it up so you can get all that cream out when you dump it into the kettle. Ooh, I made a mess. Put this over on the stove. Turn it on to high. And you're gonna heat this up to 100 degrees. Clean up all your floors. Oh man. Once it's the temperature, oh, we're at 103. We're done. 108. Yikes, how high did I get? 110, 111. Cut the heat. It doesn't really matter. It's fine. And sprinkle in 1.5 tablespoons of citric acid. It can be maybe as little as 1 tablespoon or as much as 2. You'll have to see how it behaves. Once you add the citric acid, oh, you can already see it starting to separate. You stir it and just keep stirring. It might take about 30 seconds for you to see the curds separate from the whey. It's starting to come up, but it hasn't separated yet. Now it's starting to break. Complete separation. Whee! So 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons, whatever you need, of the citric acid. Now, whoop, this is to catch the whey. Do not forget it. Here's your colander and a cheesecloth. You could let this just sit, but I always hang mine just because I like to. Let it drain for 2 hours. What do you do with the whey? Well, we just feed it to the pigs. After those 2 hours is up, dump the curds into a bowl, mash them up with your fingers or with a spoon. This smells fresh and milky. It's a little bit tangy. So now you add 1 teaspoon of salt. Our salt is very wet because it's so humid here. 2 teaspoons of baking soda. The baking soda is going to make the curds fizz and foam, which is super cool. Do you hear the fizzy sound? It kind of gets sticky and melty as you stir it. It's so cool. And let it rest for 2 more hours. It already feels like it's beginning to puff up. It's already getting fluffy. Over time, the curds will become foamy and frothy-ish, and they kind of turn translucent with white unmelted curds scattered throughout. It is raining, it is dark, a storm blew up, my oven broke, I had to go bake things elsewhere, the kitchen is trashed, but we are going to finish this cheese whiz come hell or high water. It's kind of gluey. It just smells neutral, there's really no smell to it. So we're gonna dump it in the pan. Gonna turn this on low. We're gonna add some milk. I'm going with a 3/4 cup, cranking the heat up. Gonna add some annatto to make it appropriately whizzy. 1, 2, 5, 6. Heat that over low heat, stirring until it is smooth and creamy. Oh, it's frothing up. You can see it's starting to scorch a little bit on the bottom. See a little bit of brown through there. But this is mostly just kind of puffed. It's pretty smooth. There's still some lumps. I want it to be super runny so I can pour it through the sieve. All right, I think that's enough. If there are lumps, if those white little bits of cheese that were throughout do not actually dissolve and turn creamy, you can just pour the cheese whiz through a sieve at the end. See, there's the little knobbies down in there. Didn't quite come through. Still haven't figured out how to get those all out, but that's okay. Let's smack this out as quick as possible because otherwise it makes a mess. All right, now's the fun part. This right now, you can see the texture. It's cooling pretty quick. That's why you want to get it out because see how quickly that is sitting up in the pot? This is like a thick thing already. It tastes very mild, a little bit gummy. It kind of sticks to your teeth. But now to flavor this, I don't measure anything, just a couple drops. You don't want much of that. It's pretty strong. Chipotle, I like a lot of that. Tiny bit of garlic. If you get too much, it's really strong. Mustard powder, like that. I think you taste to see what it needs. I think it needs a little bit more salt, because remember, salt's a big deal in this. I kind of think it needs more heat. I'm gonna put more chipotle. Let's put a little bit of smoked paprika in. See how it is now. That's yummy. It needs more salt. And it needs some more spice. I'm gonna add some chili coban. It's super, super strong. That's gonna give it a good amount of heat. Ooh, that got some heat. I feel like that needs some vinegar. I have some jalapeno peppers. I'm gonna add some of that brine. Very mild tanginess. You could probably put more in, but there you go. This is the sauce. So that's how it's like right now, and it's warm. And now it gets put into a jar. It's already thickening up so much. I wish you could taste it. It's getting better as it cools down. So that's what, 3 cups of whiz for 1 gallon of milk. Woohoo. I can imagine that many of you are wondering, what is the difference between Cheese Whiz, nacho sauce, queso? I did a bunch of research. What I learned is that Cheese Whiz is a milk-based creamy sauce that does not have cheese in it. Nacho sauce is made by heating milk or cream and then adding grated yellow cheddar cheese to make a sauce. Queso is similar, but often uses a white melting cheese, such as Monterey Jack, and it often has spices in it like tomatoes and jalapenos to make it taste Southwestern. Let me set something straight. I don't think I really ever ate it growing up, and the closest I got to this type of a cheese was the slices of Velveeta that my mom would put on top of the big bowl of broccoli at supper time. She also raised us on margarine. Oh, the horrors. So anyway, when I was planning this deep dive, I went to the grocery store to buy some so I could taste it for myself. And then I picked up other Whiz adjacent products to make sure I was covering all my bases. So that I can correctly analyze the Cheese Whiz that I am making, I'm going to do some quick tasting. First, real Cheese Whiz. There's like a lot of stuff there. A lot more than what mine has. Oh, they make it look healthy. Isn't that nice? Let's see how it is. I'm kind of nervous. It's thick. Oh, it's smooth, yeah. But it's not like gooey. It's very salty. Something garlicky and oniony. It's savory. Oh yeah. I can see people really liking this. Here's the thing that other people often think of. Cheese in a can. I have never done this. It's gonna explode. Oh, it contains milk. Yay. Press tip firmly and move slowly across the food. It's like toothpaste. Ah, it's like a little worm. I am so thrilled. That is adorable. Oh, this is different. This tastes a little bit more like the texture of cream cheese. It's less oniony and savory. It's a little more neutral. It's really good. I cannot believe I'm saying this. Okay, this is gooey. It smells like nothing. It's like a sour cream, but more gelatinous. It's boring as heck. It's just kind of like white snot. So this is the queso. Oh, that smells good. Like a taco salad. It's like a sauce. This is boring. The texture is light. It feels a little bit like a mixture between water and cheese. Once I made Whiz, I started having a bunch of questions, and I imagine you do too. Can you skip the wait times? Like, do you have to wait the full 2 hours and wait the other full 2 hours? You may not skip those times. I did that once. I rushed the whole make, kind of moving from step to step without the pauses, and the Whiz was like glue. It was horrible, and I took it somewhere to share it with people, and it was so humiliating. So don't do that. Can you let it sit longer? There's no need to do that for the first step. 2 hours is plenty of time for it to drain. But for the second step, I have let it go longer and there's no ill effect. I imagine you could let it sit out overnight at room temperature and it will be just fine. So what are the textures of this homemade Cheese Whiz? When it is warm, it is spoonable and spreadable. And then when you chill it, it is thicker and a little bit more gelatinous and pasty-ish than Cheese Whiz that you get in a jar. But if you put some in a bowl and microwave it, this is after 22 seconds in the microwave. It's about 30 seconds. It quickly becomes more spoonable and more spreadable. How you control the texture is by determining how much milk you add to it when you heat it in the final step. When it's fridge stable, you want to scoop it or do you want to pour it? That's what you need to think about. Add more milk if you want to pour it. What is the shelf life of this homemade Whiz? Well, you're adding salt to it, which is a preservative. It is cooked. From my experience, it's lasted in the fridge at least 2 weeks. It could probably go a lot longer. If you pour it into the jar hot and put the lid on it and stick it in the back of the fridge, it's kind of going to seal itself, and I think it would probably last even longer. Can you freeze the Whiz? Don't know. Gonna find that out. It thawed out perfectly. Let's see how it tastes. Perfectly creamy, 100% works. Can you can homemade Whiz? I think that's a bad idea. Everything I read says don't do it, but maybe there's some rogue cheese people out there and you want to try to can it. It's on you. What is the cost comparison for Cheese Whiz? Store Cheese Whiz costs
$5.99 for a 15-ounce jar.
Our milk is free, but let's say you spent $4 at the store for a gallon of milk. And then the salt, baking soda, and annatto, if you're using it, costs altogether 10 cents. And then you added a few seasonings, another 10 cents. So you're basically making 3 cups of Cheese Whiz for
$4.20.
Pretty good deal. Now, the biggest and most obvious question that I'm sure many of you are thinking, what can I use in place of citric acid? Citric acid is a natural ingredient. It is what is found in citrus, but when you buy the powder form, that stuff has been manufactured with a fermentation process using sugars and a very ordinary mold with the fancy name of Aspergillus niger. But some of you are living in other parts of the world, you might not have access to citric acid, or you think it's kind of a weird ingredient and you don't want to use it. So my question was, what other options are there? So I did it once with white vinegar. It has separated and coagulated. I am a little bit disturbed. Oh, I like how it's spoonable. This is a nice texture, but it's grainy. What about using it with clabber? Well, clabber was kind of a little doozy of a flop. Not really, but it worked, but it made it really runny. It never really set up. Look how it jiggles, it does not look set. And then in the top here, it's like a skin that you can lift up. And then down here is water. What even is that? And then underneath, it's just more of that. This is like sunshine, melted butter grossness. Like maybe I put too much milk in this. It definitely tastes better than the citric acid Cheese Whiz. Like this has more flavor, it's a little bit more of a tang to it. So maybe it's worth doing this experiment again, but with less milk or even no milk at all, just melting it down. Start to squirt to the bottom. And then when I did it without milk, it was very gluey and gelatinous in a very unpleasing way. It's fine, but it's not what I was going for. It has a good flavor, but it reminds me of snot. Can you make Cheese Whiz with other kinds of milk? Yes, you can use store-bought milk. You can use goat's milk. You can use, I'm making this up, I haven't done it, but I think you can use any kind of milk. As long as your milk coagulates when you add an acid, I think you're good to go. But try it and see, I might be totally wrong. When you are heating up the curds, can you use cream instead of the milk? Absolutely. Make it richer, make it more full flavored. Some of you are probably wondering if you have to heat the curds and the milk on a stovetop, or can you heat it in the crock pot? Yes, you can absolutely heat it in the crock pot. If you want to do this, grease your crock pot and then you dump those curds in with the milk and turn it on low and let it sit for a few hours. Stir it occasionally until it's creamy and smooth. The thing is, in a crock pot, it's only going to be a little bit of stuff at the bottom of your pot. And it tends to get brown around the edges and it tends to form a skin on top, which is fine. You can stir it in, you can do whatever you want. But if you're using a crock pot, it might be smart to do a double or triple batch so you have more of a mass of the cheese to work with. Many of you may be wondering, how do I use up all this Cheese Whiz? Especially if you're like me and did not grow up with Cheese Whiz, but you like the idea of having a cheese product without making cheese. Use it as a snacking option, spread it on your crackers, dip pretzels into it, tortilla chips, apples, olives, canned roasted red peppers. You can dress it up, add chopped tomato to it and fresh jalapeno peppers, chopped onions. Oh, it'd be so good. You can add chipotle peppers with a little bit of that sauce. You can make a dip with it, like add ground beef and stir it into the whiz along with, tomatoes and taco seasonings, and then top that like dipping sauce with chopped onions and avocados and lime wedges and cilantro, and you have yourself a really good party-pleasing appetizer. You can use it as a white sauce with mac and cheese. That's what I've done with these bum whizzes that I have in the fridge from making clabber whiz. They're a little too runny, they don't have the right texture. I just add them in place of the milk when making a white sauce or in addition to it and making that sauce a little bit more cheesy flavor. You want to cook the flour so you don't have a weird flour taste in your roux. Now I'm going to add the whiz. There is a delicious cheese sauce for my baked mac and cheese. Oh, you can drizzle this whiz on hamburgers, on egg burritos, on hot dogs, baked potatoes, french fries, steamed broccoli, scrambled eggs. You can stir it into a cream soup and make a broccoli soup or a potato soup with it. You can add it to a spinach quiche. Here is some Cheese Whiz that I had in the fridge. It's a month old, and I'm just going to be adding this to the mixture. You can add it to pizza. You can dollop it on lasagna. This is the failed cheese glue, and then this is the lumps that I strained out. I just globbed this over this casserole, and I'm gonna bake it now. Hopefully it will taste better than it looks. And of course, there's the classic way to use Whiz, and that is by making a Philly cheesesteak, which I do not know how to make, but I'm going to make it for you. All right, so Cheese Whiz is the simplest version of a cheeseless, cheese-like sauce that you can possibly make. But you can also make a creamy melting cheese using actual cheese as the base. This method is perfect for using up any wonky cheeses that taste good, but that have a texture that might be a little bit too rubbery, too dry, too crumbly. Using this method, it will transform wonky cheese into a smooth, melty block of cheese, kind of like Velveeta meets American cheese, but way more delicious. So check it out and let me know how it goes. Happy milk slinging!